up there. First, though, we're going to start with the Guardians, and why not? 6-2 after their 4-2 win yesterday against the Minnesota Twins. And even though it wasn't impressive when they beat the Oakland A's 3 out of 4, what they've done after that is very impressive. 2 of 3 against Seattle in Seattle, and they're off to a good start now against the Twins as well. We'll start with you on this, Bull, because we know how much you love baseball. Which of the young Guardians players has most impressed you so far?
It was a tough call for me between Brian Rocchio and Tyler Freeman. But the reason I went to Tyler Freeman, even though Rocchio's hit a little better than him, is Freeman's been very clutch, and he has to do it while dealing with learning a new position.
Right.
Now, I know he got the opportunity this summer, but he's been an infielder for most of his career. So he's adjusting at the big league level to playing center field. And for, listen, everybody knows how I feel about Miles Straw, but the one thing Miles Straw did well was played a great center field. He's had his challenges a little bit. For the most part, though, he's done a good job in center field. And while the batting average is low, he's had some big-time clutch hits early. I've been very impressed by his enthusiasm, his energy in the field and on the bases. I think it's carrying over to the rest of the team. And that's tough to be a guy who's trying to find your way in a lineup and at a new position.
Yeah,
very tough, and I'm impressed.
You cannot overstate how difficult it is, especially center field.
100%.
I mean, you are the quarterback of the outfield. You have to go to your left. You have to go to your right. He did misplay a ball yesterday early in the game against the Twins. Miles Straw would have had that without any problems. That is the most difficult play that he's going to be asked to make. Other than that, he's done it all and done it all well. Who's your guy?
Hey, listen, I got to go with Tanner Bibee. Listen, he pitched. He got roughed up a little bit the first game. His last outing, lights out. I love the fact that this guy can give you so much movement on his pitches. He has the sneakiest fastball in the game, right? You look at him on the mound, you don't look like he's a guy that's going to blow it by you.
Right.
But he gets guys looking. He gets guys swinging. And when you have Gavin Williams being out, Tristan McKenzie is looking a little shaky. We don't know what's going on with his health. You're counting on a guy that's second or third in your rotation to have good outings. And I think he's a real big reason why the Guardians could potentially make a run, because think about it. This guy is maybe third guy in the rotation, fourth guy. And if you can get a guy like him throwing the ball as well as he's threw last outing, I think the Guardians are in good shape if they can keep him throwing the baseball well.
Bull, correct me if I'm wrong. I think of their 8 games, 7 of them have been quality starts.
Yeah, even
the only
Carrasco
one that wasn't
for
was
him.
McKenzie.
Like, Carrasco gives up 3 runs in 5-6 innings. That's a win.
You'll take it
at this point in his career.
You'll take it every time.
Yeah, McKenzie's start was bad, and I think it was 2 because Bibee's first start was not very good either.
Yeah, I can't remember.
But that's it. I mean, 6 out of 8, and we know the pitching is going to be there.
Yeah, it will. The bullpen, I'm a little concerned about the bullpen, both health-wise and, I know Eli Morgan is going to work it out and figure it out, but he's had a rough time finding the strike zone early on. For me, you guys would probably raise your eyebrows at my answer, but because the question is he a young player? So I kind of said, well, you're young if you're under 30. I'm 58. I'm allowed to say that. Cut me some slack. I'm going with Shane Bieber because he hasn't just been great. He's been Cy Young Shane Bieber. I think he's got 21 strikeouts in 12 innings.
Yeah.
Think about that.
And 1 walk.
And 1 walk. He's given up a handful of hits, hasn't allowed a run all year. So, we've got him at 1-0. Oh, that's the game stats against the A's. He's 2-0 on the season.
2-0 on the season, 20 strikeouts, 1 walk, no earned
runs. So he had 11 against the A's then in his opener. I thought he had 12.
No, 11 against the A's.
Okay, I had him at 12. I don't know why.
But 20 strikeouts, 1 or fewer walks, no runs allowed through 2 starts. It's happened twice in Major League Baseball history. Shane Bieber this season and Shane Bieber in 2020.
That's insane.
And think about how efficient he was. 83 pitches, he only threw the last time.
I was disappointed that they didn't give him the 7th inning, and he was too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You can see by his demeanor, he wasn't happy, especially when they bring in the bullpen and they throw gas on the game. It was a 4-0 game at the time, and all of a sudden, it's 4-2.
Right.
And I think Bieber was a little disappointed that he didn't get to stretch out to a 7th inning. I'm sure we're going to see that as the season goes on. They want to be careful with him. I think it's interesting because they're being extra precautious with the guy that is not in their long-term plans. And I think Bieber should thank them for that.
Yeah.
I know in the moment when you're a competitor,
of course.
you got to drag me off the pitcher's mound.
Yeah.
But I do think that it's respectful, and I hope other pitchers in the game look at it and say, the temptation is so great to stick with this guy that the other teams clearly can't figure out. Yet, for this, not just for the sake of this season for Shane Bieber, but they know that he's entering into free agency and he's ready. He's going to hit it big. They're saving him from himself, and I think there's some nobility to that.
No doubt.
How do you guys sell this? You're 6-2. If you go on a big streak where got the best record in the American League, and at the trade deadline you got Shane Bieber pitching this well,
oh, you keep him.
I don't see a way you could get rid of him.
In the past, the Guardians have traded him in players in situations like that. You can't.
Well, last year there were a couple games out when they moved Savali.
Yeah.
And I was hot. I thought you were waving the white flag.
But in the long run, I think that made sense.
We got Manzardo
because you traded a good pitcher, not a great pitcher,
right,
for a guy who you think feels like a short thing.
And they made the calculation: we're not going to win it, so we're going to get something for our effort.
If they're in first place, and I don't want to worry about it right now.
They will lose me as a fan if they trade Shane Bieber and they're in first place.
I think as a fan, I could live with him walking out the door after this year for nothing.
I can too.
More than I can. They're in first place and they trade him for some minor league.
Exactly. Don't rob us of the October experience.
Because if the Guardians, listen, we'll see the hitting as the season goes.
That's exactly right.
But if I got this Bieber for the whole season,
you keep him.
With hopefully a healthy Gavin Williams, who should be back in a couple of weeks, and Bibee. I'll leave McKenzie out for now because I don't know what he's going to be.
I know.
But the potential upside of a Bieber, Bibee, Gavin Williams, top 3 in the playoffs can compete with anybody.
I agree.
And there's, to me, in the American League, in the National League, you got the Dodgers and Braves who are head and shoulders above everyone.
They are.
In the National League, I don't think there's a team that's like that. That's that much better than everybody else.
Only one of the Dodgers and Braves is going to the World Series.
That's right.
Maybe none.
And so I would.
Roll the dice.
I don't want to think about it right now.
I don't either. And you know what? We've supposedly got new ownership that helps out.
Yeah.
Sign him. If you love him that much, sign him to a contract.
Right. But at the very least, if he has to walk, he walks. You can't trade him in the middle of the season.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.